What country builds the best cars in the world? America builds monsters. Germany builds precision machines. Japan builds legends. Italy builds rolling works of art. Or the United Kingdom, they build the future of performance. From screaming engines to precision machines, from street racing to billion-dollar hypercars, these countries didn't just build cars, they built identities, each followed its own path, and reshaped the automotive world. America, the birthplace of power. It all began with a revolution, not of speed, but of access. The Ford Model T didn't just introduce automobiles to the world, it redefined how society moved. For the first time, cars were no longer a luxury reserved for the wealthy. They became tools of everyday life. Roads expanded, cities stretched outward, and an entire nation accelerated into a new era. But for America, access was never the end goal. It was only the beginning. Very quickly, the focus shifted from mobility to dominance. That shift gave birth to one of the most iconic automotive identities in history, the muscle car era. Machines like the Ford Mustang, Chevrolet Camaro, and Dodge Challenger weren't designed to be balanced or refined. They were built to be aggressive, loud, unapologetically powerful. This was a culture where straight-line speed mattered more than anything else. Quarter-mile times became status symbols. Burnouts became art. The sound of a roaring V8 wasn't just noise, it was identity. And then, as if pushing the limits wasn't enough, America went even further. The arrival of cars like the Dodge Challenger Hellcat changed the rules entirely. Over 700 horsepower in a production car. Supercharged fury delivered straight to the rear wheels. It wasn't just fast, it was overwhelming. At the same time, innovation quietly emerged. The Chevrolet Corvette C8 signaled a new direction, proving that America could evolve beyond muscle while still maintaining its identity. It was a statement that raw power and modern engineering could coexist. But beneath the noise, beneath the power, there is a darker truth. American automotive culture has always leaned toward excess. Bigger engines, more fuel consumption, a relentless pursuit of power, often without restraint. Efficiency was secondary, sustainability was an afterthought. Even today that philosophy lingers, because in America the idea has always been simple. If it's not bigger, louder, and more powerful, it's not enough. Germany. Engineering perfection. If America thrives on chaos and power, Germany thrives on control. Here, cars are not simply built, they are engineered with surgical precision. Every decision is calculated, every component is designed with purpose. There is no room for randomness, only perfection. The Autobahn stands as the ultimate symbol of this philosophy, a highway where speed limits disappear, but expectations rise. In this environment, cars must do more than just go fast. They must remain stable, composed, and predictable at extreme speeds. This is where German engineering separates itself. Cars like the Porsche 911, BMW M3, Mercedes AMG GT, and Audi R8 represent decades of refinement. These are not just vehicles, they are systems of precision, built to perform flawlessly under pressure. Everything is intentional. From weight distribution to suspension tuning, from aerodynamics to software calibration. These cars are designed to feel predictable at 200 km per hour in the same way others feel at 60, but perfection is not without its cost. German cars are among the most complex machines on the road. Advanced electronics, tightly engineered systems, and precision components demand constant care, and when something fails, it rarely fails simply or cheaply. Behind the reputation of perfection lies a fragile balance, a system so refined that even the smallest issue can disrupt everything. Because in Germany, speed is not enough. It must be controlled. It must be precise. It must be perfect. Japan. The JDM tuning revolution. While other nations chased power or perfection, Japan quietly built something different: potential. In the 1990s and early 2000s, Japanese manufacturers created cars that would go on to define an entire generation. Not because they were the fastest out of the factory, but because of what they allowed drivers to do. Cars like the Nissan Skyline GT-R 34, Toyota Supra MK4, Mazda RX-7 FD, Honda NSX, and Subaru WRX STI were different. They were accessible, lightweight, and most importantly, modifiable. Japan didn't just sell cars, it gave control to the driver, not just behind the wheel, but under the hood. This was the birth of JDM culture, a movement where customization became identity. Turbocharging, engine swaps, wide-body kits, drifting through tight corners, street racing under neon lights. It wasn't just about speed, it was about expression. These cars became legends because they could be transformed into something more, something personal. But that freedom came at a cost. As the years passed, economic challenges, stricter emission laws, and government regulations began to tighten control over the industry. The wild, unrestricted tuning culture that once thrived began to fade. Manufacturers shifted priorities, regulations replaced creativity, and slowly the golden era came to an end. What remains today is legacy. A snapshot of a time when car culture was raw, creative, and limitless. Japan didn't just build cars, it built a movement that changed the world before it was forced to slow down. Italy, passion and supercars. In Italy, cars are not built with logic, they are built with emotion. Brands like Ferrari, Lamborghini and Pagani don't just create vehicles, they create experiences. Every line, every curve, every detail is designed to evoke a feeling. These cars are meant to be seen, heard and remembered. Machines like the Ferrari LaFerrari, Lamborghini Aventador SVJ, Lamborghini Huracan, and Pagani Huayra are not just about performance, they are about presence. Driving one is an experience that goes beyond speed. It's about the sound of the engine echoing through tunnels, the attention it commands on the road, the feeling of controlling something extraordinary. But passion has its price. Italian cars have long been associated with unpredictability. Reliability issues, high maintenance costs, and complex engineering often make ownership a challenge. Behind the beauty lies fragility, and beyond that, there is pressure. Pressure to remain exclusive, to remain rare, to remain desirable. Because these brands are not just selling cars, they are selling dreams, and dreams are never practical. United Kingdom, the supercar innovators. The United Kingdom chose a different path. While others focused on power, precision or passion, the UK focused on innovation. Brands like McLaren, Aston Martin and Lotus built their identity on pushing boundaries. Their influence comes directly from motorsport, especially Formula One. Lightweight construction, advanced aerodynamics and cutting-edge materials define their approach. Cars like the McLaren P1, McLaren 7.2 OS and Aston Martin DBS Superleggera are not just fast, they are technological experiments, constantly redefining performance. These machines are built for the future, but innovation is not safe. It requires risk, it demands investment, and it often leads to uncertainty. Many British manufacturers have faced financial struggles, constantly balancing groundbreaking ideas with survival. Yet they continue, because in the UK, the goal is not just to keep up, it is to lead, even if the cost is everything. Ending 5 nations. 5 philosophies. America is power, Germany is precision, Japan is potential, Italy is passion, the United Kingdom is innovation. Each one has shaped the automotive world in its own way, influencing not just how cars are built, but how they are experienced. But now, the choice is yours. If you had to choose just one philosophy, one identity, one type of machine for the rest of your life, which would it be? Japan, America, Germany, Italy, or the United Kingdom? Because in the end, you don't choose the car chooses you.